Sorry, one moment. Okay, so the Prophet doesn't come in and force people to start following Allah. He encourages what we call freedom of thought. So he raises questions, and then uh, people then ask him more questions and answers, and then understand Allah. So he doesn't force us anything. And then he establishes thought and reflection. Yeah, the same point, that when it is said that do justice in this world, people can ask him, why does Allah want to do justice in this world, and he explains it in a certain way. So with that conversation, it comes, the people believe in justice, and then they start following justice and doing justice. Um, he teaches them wisdom from the holy book. So in our day to Islam as a religion is there to give us guidance in our day-to-day life. It's not for Sundays only, or a particular time or particular event. Every single thing that we do can be explained from religion. So if you have a day-to-day matter that for example, halal haram, like, comes up every day, you're about to eat something somewhere, and you're not sure, like, should we have it or not have it, whether it is right to do this or wrong to do that, and all this is explained by the Prophet, and then after that by the Imams as well. Yes, so bringing people out of darkness and ignorance. So people who are not following Islam, people who follow different religions, the Prophet cares for them, and he talks to them, try and understand, what their beliefs are, and then question them on their belief, and then introduce a new belief as well. Social justice is also an important point, that the Holy Prophet and all the prophets, they were sent into this world, and one of their roles was to bring about a community which is based on social justice. So people who are generally doing good, and people who do bad deeds are taken care of, and they're told and explained on what they did, and then fix them as well, so that they don't do the bad deeds again. And finally, prophets are there to give good tidings and good news as well to people. So following Islam is not an easy, quick thing to do, and that's why a majority of the people, they know that Islam is the best religion, but they don't follow it because it comes with its own challenges. Someone who is not following Islam can just sleep all day and not worry about things, but Muslims, we have to at least be awake at our prayer times, and then there are certain things that rights and responsibilities that we need to do, certain wajibats, mustahabats. So there's lots of things, that actions that we need to do. If you're not a Muslim, then obviously you can just do whatever you want. So people who do take on these challenges, who do wake up for their Fajr namaz, who do read the Quran in detail, who do good deeds and become good human beings, then the Prophet tell them that you have a big reward waiting for you in this world and also the hereafter. So that's another role of the Prophet. So this is a very busy slide. Those of you who are on your computers probably will be reading this in detail. But I included this in here just to show you how a prophet works, basically. So you would have heard of the name of Prophet Shoaib, and just by reading this slide, you would understand what the purpose of Prophet Shoaib was. Obviously, we all know about Prophet Muhammad, and I really encourage you to read stories of the Prophet and understand what happened in Prophet Shoaib's time, Prophet Lut's time, Prophet Saleh's time, Prophet Yusuf's time, all those times, so that we can learn from them. So Prophet Shoaib, I won't read the whole thing, but it say that he was sent to the people of Madain, which was a country or a city probably, at that time. And he says that I'm one of the signs of Allah, your Lord. And then he asked them to give full measure, full weight, and do not wrong anyone, do not mischief on this earth, and do not threaten or hinder people from the path of Allah, and reminding them that as a community, Allah helped you grow. You were few, and He multiplied you, and He took the people who used to kill you away from you. And then He says that I am the party who believes in Allah, and I'm not a one that that don't believe in it, and He's the best of judge, and follow Allah. So a prophet would go to a community or from his own community, rise up and saying, this is what Allah's commands are, and start following them, and He's ready to be questioned and give answers for. But usually, what happened, and this happened in every prophet's time, and this is what Prophet Shuaib's community or society, or at that time other people he was living with did, the chiefs of that time, that they didn't believe him, and they said that we'll drive you out, and don't tell us about Islam. So they were happy doing what they were doing, and they don't wanted to sort themselves out and be good people. So the Prophet gives the message of Allah, the people reject them, and sometimes be rude to them. And then finally, what the Prophet does, he says, I've conveyed the message and I've given you advice, and now because you're not following Allah, and they go to extremes of not following Allah. So not just following Allah, but saying things against Allah as well. And some of these communities had big disasters put on them. And Prophet Shuaib said, he's done his duty, which was to pass on the message of Allah. So so that explains some bits about who prophets are and what their roles are. I just wanted to touch on two more points which are normally related to prophets. Any questions so far? Anyone? Okay, so yeah, if you have any question, then you can write it in the chat box. If you do want to say out a question as well, because we have a very small group now, you can let me know in chat, and then I can unmute you for you to ask a question as well. So miracles, or in common terms, they're called mojizas. What are they? They are discussed quite a lot of times, but let's just understand exactly what miracle means. So miracle is something that normal people can't do. So me and you, or anyone from the street, anyone would just not stand up and start doing a miracle. A miracle is something that you can't just accept. So suddenly, right now, where I am, it's about 6:30 and the sun is out, and suddenly, I make the sun go away. I make the sun set. So I can't do that. It's not for normal people to do. So if it's not for normal people to do, then who can do these miracles? Only the prophets and imams can do the miracles by commonly, but whoever Allah wishes to grant them this ability, then they can do miracles as well. So it's not that only prophet and imams can do. There are some people who Allah have given this ability, and they can do miracles as well. Why is a miracle done? So it's not for entertainment. That let me show you how to bring the sun down, for example, or how to make a tree walk, or make a way in a river. It's done to prove religion. So people who say that you are saying all these things to us, that Allah is like this, Allah wants us to do this. How do we know that you are a prophet or a messenger or an imam, or someone that Allah has chosen? So to do that, with Allah's help, a miracle is done, and Sometimes the people believe in it and turn to Allah, and sometimes even by seeing the miracle, they don't believe in that. And these people are definitely at a loss. And some things are living miracles as well. So a miracle is not a one-off thing that you do it once and it's over. Some of them are like that, but some of them you can see all the time, and you just don't understand like how is this happening, but it always happens. Can someone give an example of a living miracle, like something that we can experience today, and you just don't understand how on earth this happens? Yeah, Zamzam is a miracle. The water is coming out continuously for thousands of years, and it just continues to come out. Anything else? Yeah, the sun rising and setting every day in the same place. Everything that you see around in your nature. How does a plant grow? You just don't understand. Like no one understands how a plant grows, but we see it growing every day, and we just say that this is Allah's miracle. Yeah, Prophet is alive, and Prophet Isa is alive. That's a good one. Hajar Aswad is a miracle as well, that we can see a stone from the Jannah today. Good. One of all of these very good examples, Daniel, Maryam Zaki, Iman, very good examples. One of the living miracles that we have is the Holy Quran. Um, so someone has asked if is Prophet Ayub alive, and we believe that all the prophets have passed away. So none of the prophets are, apart from Prophet Isa and Prophet Khizr, and so they are in fact, like not here at the moment, but when Allah wants them to come back, then they will come back. So it's not easy to explain in terms of being alive or not alive. It's like when we explain the concept of shaheeds, that they are actually dead, but they are alive as such. But it's the soul. It's not their physical bodies. The physical body of Prophet Ayub, for example, is buried in Iraq. I've been to the shrine over there. But in their souls, all souls are alive. And when Allah wants those souls to come back into this world, inshallah, with Imam Mahdi, alayhi salam, then all those prophets and Imams will come back. This is one of our aqidas. So I was explaining about the Holy Quran, that Holy Quran is a living miracle, and it's been there since 1400 years, and we're reading it, we're finding new things from it all the time. And it's just amazing to see what is in the Quran, and after how many years we've learned only little, and in the coming years we'll know more and more about the Holy Quran. So the next topic is I like the and this is in the book as well. What's the difference between miracle and magic? And sometimes people say that when prophets used to show them a miracle, they say, "Oh, you are just a magician," and this is not a miracle. So there are a few things that separate miracles from magic, and magic is done for entertainment only. So someone would learn a trick, and all of them are tricks. So none of them are sort of real magic as such, that it happened in reality. They are all tricks, and they are all things that you practice, you learn, and you do something that normal people can't do to please them, basically. And magic can be for bad intentions as well. So someone can hurt you, with by doing their trick. And magicians can be good or bad people, both. So anyone can become a magician. It doesn't matter what their characters are. But compared to miracles and those who perform miracles or do miracles with the help of Allah, they are only pious people. So they're people of good character, and they do it for a purpose. And once a miracle is done, it's normally not like done again and again and again. So you've heard of the story when Imam Ali turned the sun back, and there were times when Prophet talked to the stone. So it's not that it's a common thing, and every Imam or Prophet that came in would just do the same miracle again. Miracle is depending on that time and for a specific purpose only. So very different concepts, miracle and magic. And we don't personally like believe in magic. You can take it as an entertainment form, if you're watching something for fun, then you can look at it. But we're not supposed to believe in magic. Pious means people of good character who always do good deeds, who fear Allah, and who understand all their actions. They don't just so pious people, as Sister Sarah has asked, are those people who think what they're doing and always try to be good, and stay away from the bad things, and also tell other people to be good as well. Okay, so we'll have the Kahoot in the end to do the assessment, but just to summarize, okay, I think we need to move on from the summary as well. Let's move on to the second topic on fiqh, which is wuzu. So we will be discussing Salah, inshallah, next time. But I wanted to go through wudu so we understand exactly what wudu is. It's a very little thing to do, or a quick thing to do, but it can invalidate something like your wajib prayer. So you need to be very careful of whenever you do wudu. So wuzu is a way to clean yourself spiritually. If you have, for example, blood on your body somewhere, or some other najasat, we talked about any najis, and other najis things. But if you have any other najasat on your body, wuzu will not clean that. You have to clean that separately using one of the cleansing things that we discussed. But wuzu is to clean yourself spiritually. So when you do wuzu, then you feel that you are more closely connected to Allah, and you understand what Allah wants from you. Wuzu needs to be done properly. So there is a proper way of doing wuzu, and there's a sequence of the wuzu, and you have to follow that and do it properly. Otherwise, you may think that you have done wudu, but it's actually you haven't done wudu. And again, if it's for a wajib salat, for example, then but just by not doing it properly, you'll invalidate your prayer as well. Wudu is wiping different parts of the body. So you will have wash your hands, your face, your mouth, your feet, your head, and it is said that every time you wipe a part of your body, spiritually that wipes away all your sins. So imagine you can do wudu anytime. You can just stand up, after this class, go and do wudu, or hopefully you've done wudu before coming to this class. And every time you are wiping your parts of the body, you can actually be wiping sins as well. But for that, you need a good intention and sincerity. So every time you're doing wudu, have this intention in your mind that I am doing wudu, and I'm doing it purely for Allah. And every with every wipe, Allah, please wipe all my sins. Also, wuzu keeps you away from bad deeds. If, say, for example, I don't know, if you have a habit of lying, or being rude to people, or I don't know, disrespecting your parents, if you start doing wudu, you will notice that those bad deeds will decrease, because you can't be doing wudu and spiritually cleaning yourself, and then be going and being disrespectful to your parents, or fighting with your siblings, or doing something wrong. So try and keep in the state of wudu as much as possible. There are a lot of conditions of wuzu. So I said in the beginning that if you don't do wuzu properly, then wuzu doesn't happen, and you may think that you have done wuzu, but you actually haven't. So just quickly go through these different bits, and you can make a note of this or review this later. All parts of your body should be clean or tahir before you start wuzu. So if there's any, as I said, like blood on the body, anything, like you've touched an animal which is najis by mistake, or you have been haven't washed after the toilet properly. So all that needs to be clean before the wuzu. Wuzu will not make your physical body clean. It will just clean you spiritually. So you have to make sure that body parts are clean. Water must be pure and mubah and enough for the wudu. For example, you have, I don't know, 7 Up bottle in your room, or you're outside somewhere traveling and you have a bottle of orange juice. You can't do wudu with orange juice bottle. Also, if you're traveling with someone and he has a water bottle that he's kept for himself, and it's time for wudu, you can't just pick up his bottle and start doing wudu. You have to have your own water or take permission as well. If you're using a container, so for example, if it's in a bottle or a jar or a bucket, then it should not be made of gold and silver. And the only reason for that is that Allah wants, at the time of wudu, remembering that it's for the common person. It's not for the rich or the poor. Um, it's an activity that anyone can perform, and it should not make you any proud or arrogant that you have a gold bowl, for example, which you do wudu from. Wuzu have a tartib or an order. So you start off with washing your hands, then your mouth, then your nose, then your uh, hands again, and then your head and the feet. So the all the order and the actions that you do in wuzu must be done in that same order. What you can't do is that you wash your hands and then go out and I don't know, have tea or something, come back and then wash your face, then go out and go to sleep, wake up. So you can't have that gap in these things. It needs to be done in an order, and it needs to be done back to back, which is what muwalat means, the next one that we have, so without any interruptions. Just a little note in there that sometimes, especially for doing masa, so you've done a whole of your wuzu in, for example, your bathroom, and you have to now do your feet, like the last bit. And you come out, take your shoes off, go all the way to your room, put out your prayer mat, and then just before praying, you do your feet or your massage of your feet. And that is not allowed. So you have to do things in one after the other. There shouldn't be no interruption in between any of the tasks. If you do that, then wuzu is not valid. Wuzu needs to be done by yourself as well. So if you're too tired and you want like someone else to come and do wuzu for you, that's not permissible. And the wiping of your head must be from the water of your wudu. So have enough water, that is for wudu to do your wiping. You can't take water from like different places and then do your wudu. Whatever wudu water is available, and how your hands are wet from that water, use that to do your masa. You have enough time available, and the last one is important as well, that water must not be harmful to your health. So some people maybe are in hospital, they if they touch water, they have a bruise on it or something, and that would cause problems. If that is the case, then there are multiple ways of avoiding it. Whether either you can do tayammum or do wudu on top of your bandage. Only if you can't remove it before the time of salah ends, and wudu is only valid, if water is not harmful. You can't, if say you have a bruise on your face, and a rash or something, we are not allowed to wipe the face, so that the rash becomes more complicated. Okay. Um, Okay, what makes a wudu invalid? These are the four things only that make a wudu invalid. Either you go to the toilet, or you fall asleep, you pass wind, or for any reason you are unconscious because of tiredness or because of hunger or anything, that you become unconscious, then wudu becomes invalid. So just going back to these 10 points, just be very careful when you're making wudu next time, that all these things are followed, so that your wudu is a proper one, and it can be used for your wajib acts as well. So wudu itself is not wajib, it's a mustahab, but it's very important because this mustahab makes a wajib act accepted or not accepted. Okay, as I said, like we'll do the Kahoot in the end. Just some key points for wudu. It's a quick way to get spiritually cleaned. So you can perform wudu any time, and that will wipe your sins and also keep you away from sins. It's also good for personal hygiene. So these days we are being told to wash our hands and face and everything regularly. If you are doing wudu, then you are keeping physically clean your hands, and the parts that are involved in the wudu, at least those are being washed on a regular basis. Intention and following a process is important. So when you are doing wudu, you could just be I don't know, coming out of the toilet and just start wiping or washing your hands, and in the exact same process as wudu, but you're just doing it to clean your hands and face. That is not counting as wudu. So when you're doing wudu, like, make an intention that you're doing wudu, and follow it in the correct process. And the last one is about doubts, because obviously sometimes we don't realize and we may break our wudu. Then it's always recommended to do it again. Sometimes, if you're not too sure, then the wudu is valid. That whether you fell asleep or you didn't fall asleep, it can be valid, but it's always recommended to do wudu again. And in fact, like, it has more sawab to maintain your wudu. So even if you have wudu, if you've done wudu, so let's say in the morning, and it's evening now, and you still haven't broken your wudu, it's mustahab to do it again, so that you even get more sawab as well. Okay, any questions on wudu, anyone, before we move on to Kahoot? Okay, thank you. Let's do our Kahoot quiz now. So can everyone see my screen? If you can just write in chat that you can. Okay, if you can use your phones or laptops, tablets, whatever you have, to type in the PIN number. So we have 9 people, 9 students today. So just one more, and then will start, inshallah. Perfect. Okay, thank you. We are going to make a start now. So the questions are related to Nabuwa and wudu today. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The right answer and the quickest answer gets the most points. What does infallible mean? So we discussed that our prophets and imams are infallibles. Good. So they have the ability to do the sins. Allah has not taken the ability away from them. Otherwise, they won't be like us, but they don't sin themselves. Okay, Hassan is on the top. Moody is on the second. I don't know what that name is. Okay, all prophets are each other's family members. Is that true or not? So this is about the appointment of the prophet. It's interesting. I got half answers yes and half no. Prophet are not just family members of each other; they're appointed by Allah. So the answer is false. They're not just family members. They can be family members, but they are appointed by God. So not in all cases. Okay, Daniel moves to the second place, and Sister Mariam is on third. Was there a prophet at all times in history? Were the prophets there sometimes, all the times, or they were there, but there were big gaps in between, or you're not sure about this? Okay, good answer. So prophet, and there is a prophet available at every time in history. That's why we have these 124,000 prophets. And if there is no prophet on earth, that would mean that Allah hasn't got a system of guidance. So that in that time where you consider there's no one, the people can say, how do we get guidance? How do we know what is right and wrong? So good answer. Okay, board remains the same. What is one of the prophet's role? Is it to show miracles if needed? Is it to relay Allah's commands? Or is it to make people think? Or all of these? Good answer, yeah. So prophets can show miracles if they're needed. They relay Allah's command, and they also make people think, and question about religion. Okay, Iman moves to the third place. Well done, Iman. Question 5. Was Prophet Shoaib worried about his people? Yes. No. He wanted all of them to die, or he didn't care at all. Good answer. Yeah. So he was worried about his people, and he kept telling them, that follow Allah's religion, and then you will be saved. Okay. Question number 6. Miracles and magic are the same thing. Is that true or false? The miracles are very different from magic. Well done. Okay, question number 7. Wuzu cleans you. How does wuzu clean you? Does it clean you physically and spiritually, or just mentally? Okay, some people answered physically and spiritually, and I think I mentioned that quite clearly, that wuzu only cleans you spiritually. The process of wuzu itself, and before wuzu, you have to clean yourself physically so that you can perform wuzu. If you have blood on your skin, or if you have a najasat anywhere on your wuzu parts, then then wudu will not clean that. Okay, Iman moves on to the second place, and Tahira moves on to the third place. Well done, Tahira and Iman. True or false? Wudu can be done in any order. Is that true? There's a particular order, and everyone needs to follow that order. So Hassan remains on the top, and the rest of it remains the same. Question number 9. Body needs to be physically clean before wudu. Okay, you'll get that answer, I think, easily. I've explained that. Yes, I don't know who got that as a false, but yeah, we need to have our body physically clean before we can do wudu. Okay, and now the last question. With every wipe of the wudu, what happens? The dirt from your hands is wiped, your sins are wiped, your face is cleaned, or your good deeds are wiped. Well done, good answer. So next time, everyone, when you're doing wudu, think of, when you're washing your hands, you see of the palm of your hands, that all the sins that knowingly or unknowingly that you've done with the palm of your hands are wiped. When you're wiping your elbows all the way down, anything with your hands are wiped, all the sins. When you're washing your face, anything that wrong you have seen from your eyes or said from your mouth or heard from your ears, inshallah, all those sins will be wiped if you have the right intention and sincerity for the wudu. So well done, everyone. Let's see the podium. Tahir got 8 out of 10 in third place. Hassan got 9 out of 10 in second place. And Iman is first. And if you notice, Iman has got the highest points because she was the quickest in answering. So well done, Iman. Okay, so yes, that's it for today. Let's just recite our dua faraj before we end, and you can recite. We can all recite together. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma kulli waliyika al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan. صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Oh Allah, please send our Imam as soon as possible, inshallah. So the next class will be next Saturday, inshallah, 6th of June. You've been all good coming in a few minutes early. Hopefully you have your notebooks ready. And until then, may Allah keep us all safe and everyone else safe, inshallah. Also, just before we go, today, depending on where you are, is the 8th of Shawwal. And this day marks an important day when Jannatul Baqi, which is in Medina, a cemetery over there where lots of holy personalities are buried. In the early 1900s, the cemetery was destructed, and all the shrines that were there were taken away. All bulldozed by the government over there. So let's remember all those people who are in the cemetery, and also pray to Allah that Allah please send Imam Mahdi as soon as possible. So like we have shrines in Karbala and Najaf and Kazman and Samarra and Mashhad and Damascus, all these places where we have big shrines of our Imams and holy personalities. Inshallah, Jannatul Baqi, which have the graves of our 4 Imams, is rebuilt, and we have big shrines over there as well. So with that prayer, thank you once again, and may Allah keep you all safe, inshallah.